That evening, my daughter and I were about to go to bed when we heard the first explosion. We got up, of course.
If everything here was cut off by flames, they had only one way to retreat, through the gardens. Ordinary people suffered. Thank you very much, the Russian Federation, for liberating us from everything we had been building our entire lives.
And I saw my house and 2 burnt cars. And these 2 windows were glowing in flames. They are in the house. The phone does not answer, but they are in the house.
5 people, my neighbors, were burned, and 2 more, elderly people down the street.
Thanks to our damn neighbor state. I hate them.
On 9 February 2024, after the Russian drone attack on our city, a very strong fire broke out in our street. We woke up in the middle of the night to a loud explosion. My husband and my father ran outside, and 2 more explosions were heard. My husband ran back into the house shouting, "Quickly get the children, we're going to burn now." I grabbed my son, and when I grabbed his clothes, I looked out the window. I could already see a huge fire. When we ran out, the river of fire was already reaching our car. It was already flowing from under the gate to the kitchen. Had there been no passage between us and the neighbors, we would have been trapped in this fire.
That evening, my daughter and I were about to go to bed when we heard the first explosion. We got up, of course, but just stood in a safe place. We stood and read the news. My husband went outside to see what was happening. 2 minutes later, he called me and shouted, "Get out immediately and run." When we ran out, the fence was already on fire. The gate was on fire, so we did not have time to open it and panicked. We first hid in the cellar. I wrapped my sweatshirt around my arms and started to open the door to get out. When I came out, I saw that there was no fire across the road, and we ran over there screaming. Our whole street burned down, thanks to our damn neighbor state. Russia is a terrorist country of killers. I hate them.
My car, everything burned completely. Temperature was so high, everything melted, steel channels bent. We have lived on this street for 29 years. We have been building it all our lives. First, there was an old small house here. When we moved here, we started building everything with our own hands. One day, it was all gone. Emotions cannot be expressed. How it all happened. As you can see, the house was completely burned down. This is the house where my parents lived. The first floor is completely burnt. The second floor, everything is completely burnt. We were asleep peacefully. Then there were explosions. The family jumped to the windows and looked at those flames. And then this fiery avalanche hit the wooden fences. These are old buildings. People have old fences. One-story brick houses built in the 60s. We just built the house later, so the building is a little further away. Maybe it saved our lives. When they saw that everything was on fire, they left everything behind and just ran. If everything here was cut off by flames, they had only one way to retreat, through the gardens. Of course, this caused a huge nervous breakdown. Thank you very much, the Russian Federation, for liberating us from everything we had been building our entire lives. Now there is only ashes remain. That is a result of a drone attack by the Russian Federation. Ordinary people suffered. 5 people, my neighbors, were burned, and 2 more, elderly people down the street.
Ниже по улице.
It was evening of February 9th. We were going to rest. Then my mother called and said that something had exploded nearby and was burning very brightly. Nothing like that had never happened before. She hung up. But after a few minutes, she called back and said that the fire was already breaking into the garden. I quickly got up, got dressed, jumped into the car, and drove off. While on my way, I dialed her to tell to seek cover in the bathroom, but she shouted, "The whole house is on fire." And at then, the connection cut off. My father had been bedbound for 7 years after the stroke. There was no way my mother could pull him out. We hoped that at least she could escape, but she never made it. In the morning, firefighters found the body and said that she did not have time to run out. Both my father and mother were found in the house. Then the law enforcement officers reported that it was an attack by Russian drones. Because of this, all this horror happened.
A beautiful young family, 3 small children. They returned early last summer. I don't know how to put it into words. It is a horrible thing to live through for their mother.
Don't know where to start. I went to Sumy a week ago to see my daughter. I constantly check the telegram when there are air raid alerts in Kharkiv. I see that there is an alert and a hit in the Nemyshlianskii district. We started calling them. At first, it seemed the call was connecting. Hello, hello, and that's it. We started trying to calling all the neighbors. Finally, a woman called me from there and said, "Tatyana, are you at home? Everything is on fire there. Everything is in flames. Are you at home?" I say, "No, I'm in Sumy." And when the pictures started to be posted on Telegram, and I saw my house, and 2 burnt cars, and these 2 windows were glowing in flames. They are in the house. The phone does not answer, but they are in the house. We sat up all night calling everyone. And in the morning, I take the first bus to Kharkiv. About an hour later, when I checked the telegram, information about the dead had already been posted. 2 adults and 3 children. I stood here until they showed me the bodies, until they were taken out and taken away. I was told they were asleep when it all happened. By the time they picked up the children, by the time they started running out, the fire was already in the yard. They found themselves surrounded by fire. The mother ran to the shower, hugged the oldest and the youngest, the 10-month-old. The husband fell down in the corridor, having probably lost consciousness, suffocated. And the middle one, Mishko, ran after Dad all the time, probably jumped out to him, and then ran away. He was found in the kitchen. They couldn't find Pavlik for a while. At first, they said they had found a part of the body, but then they said that they found everything. I have not seen the remains. I was not shown anything. I don't know how I will live without them now. I don't know how much longer they will be killing us. How much more blood do they need? How many more deaths of innocent children do they need? Here, I was receiving condolences from people in the chat, and one, with a Russian flag, wrote, "Did the fleas sleep?" and an emoticon with a smile. And how can I forgive these creatures? I cannot. My children are fleas.
Russia is a terrorist state. You can't say anything more here. Aggressor. Terrorist. They can only fight civilians. They can't do anything else.
Biscuits? I don't have any toys. Coming back from work. Russia, when will you stop killing people? I hate you.
Let that Kremlin burn with fire, and all of Moscow is burning with all those who support the war. I hate you all. I will never forgive you.